Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of RDR. We're going to do a retro read today. Today we are looking at video games and computer entertainment. Now, I have never ever heard of this magazine, nor have I ever looked through an issue, so I really don't know what to expect. But this issue in particular was very intriguing because you can tell it's definitely going to have an emphasis on flight simulators. And I personally love flight simulators, as you've seen in some of my videos. So let's just see what this magazine has to offer. Now, this is the issue from April of 1989. Let's begin. So as you can see at the cover here, we have a sneak peek at NEC's PC Engine in the lower right corner. That is pretty cool. Looks like we can win a free game on page 83. So we'll have to check out what that's all about. And then it gives us a little snippet saying 5 video game reviews, 7 computer game reviews. So I'm guessing these are pretty extensive reviews. I mean, if that's all there are, well, again, I have no idea what to expect. So Alex Kidd in Miracle World's mentioned. Konami's Life Force is mentioned as some maps and tips in here. Looks pretty straightforward. I love the cover art here. This drawn pilot is just badass. So I'm hopeful. Let's take a look. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention that really gravitated me towards this was at the very top. It says IBM, Apple, Commodore, Amiga, Nintendo, Sega, Atari. So it looks like they're just kind of hitting every brand under the sun, especially for 1989. So again, let's check it out. First thing we got here is a Konami ad for some Konami games. I see Jekyll. Great art, you know, it's just great art. It's kind of like this image of Jekyll or whatever one of these other games are, kind of bursting out of an arcade game machine. So that's awesome. Looks like it is a computer ad. It says, with our new software, your favorite arcade games come alive on your home computer. I would love to play Jekyll on the computer. I've only ever played Jekyll on the NES, and it was one of my favorite 2-player games on the NES. Another ad. We got role-playing game 2400 AD by Origin. Not played it. Loving the art though. Looks great. It's a cool ad. Another ad. Jeez. So we got Ultra's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here. We'd like to shed a little light on our upcoming hits. I don't really get it, if that's supposed to be like a pun or something there. I'm not really sure. But okay, let's keep moving here. All right, so we got the contents. Let's just jump over that. Letter to the editor, or letter from the editor, excuse me. Wizardry 5, Heart of Maelstrom by Siretech. I'm not sure what this is, but looks for it's for the Apple II and MS-DOS. So that is that's cool. A little bit more mail here. TV Sports Football by Cinemaware. Not familiar. A lot of ads so far. Wow. Another ad. This might be a magazine 100% full of ads. Maybe that's why they have so few game reviews. Hudson's Adventure Island. Got the Nintendo seal there. Never played it. Mylon Secret Castle by Hudson Soft. Okay. News bits. Let's see. Sinking the Pirates. Data East's Meated Metals. Ooh, a Jetfighter ad for the first Jetfighter The Adventure. I believe that's the first one. I recently checked out Jetfighter 3. Pretty awesome game. More news bits. Some sort of wrestling game down here. More superstars of the WWF. This is back when WWF ruled the world, in my opinion. Colorful 2, not only compatible, Colorful 2. So B-Shoe Incorporated, peripherals for Apple and IBM. Look like pretty crappy peripherals to me. They just look cheap. More news bits here. HAL America brings you 2 hot new games. Lolo and Rollerball. Have not played either. Rollerball just kind of looks cool. I like the name. Okay, we got an article on some sort of simulator there, Falcon. Yeah, Falcon, the F-16 fight simulator developed by Sphere and marketed for home computers by Spectrum Holobyte. That's cool. A weird little headset there for computer voice recognition. Looks like a kid's toy, that headset. Okay. Haha. Nintendo sues Camerica over Freedom Stick. That's hilarious. If you're not familiar with the feud between Nintendo and Camerica, I wasn't familiar they got sued over this stick, but you know, they pretty much ripped off tons of stuff Nintendo-wise and distributed it themselves. The biggest thing I think Camerica got into it for was the Game Genie. That was a huge deal. Ooh, the PC Engine. There's something I've never played. Always wanted to, though. It looks great. No quarter, just endless arcade action. So this must be Arcadia? I'm not sure. I do see Double Dragon there. Road Wars. Sidewinder. That's great. A little bit more on the PC Engine here. Bondi ad. Loved Bondi Golf. Wasn't out yet. That was a great game. The one game I'd play with my dad on the NES, other than like Mario. It's kind of his game, actually. Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde. Oh, that's a notoriously bad game. Like Xevious the Avenger, or Xevious. Galaga. Pretty cool. More on the PC Engine here. R-Type 2, that's awesome. Victory Run, never heard of that one. Legendary Axe. At the top there. Access your computer. Got Heavy Metal in the middle there. Echelon looks like a Echelon or Echelon. Echelon. I don't know how to say that, but that looks like a flight sim that now I need to find and check out. Space Flight Simulator. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. Video game reviews. We got Arkanoid Gauntlet. More game ads here. Star Soldier. Never heard of that one. Brutal. Really rad. Outrageous. Ooh, they're talking a little Legendary Wings there by Capcom at the bottom. I loved Wings. That was a great game. Kari Warriors 2. Loving the arcades at the bottom there. A little bit more on Galaga. Let's keep moving. Oh, here we go. RoboCop by Data East. Future of Law Enforcement has arrived. I do have this game on the NES. This is great. PSI, the new wave in 3D vid game software, introduces vid game. Geez, they're like cutting the word off. Not video game, vid game. The rebellion's over. Cyber Cup. And zombies down there coming soon. This is some rough looking 3D in that Cyber Cup ad. Jeez. A little bit more on that Freedom Stick by Comerica. Little Activision here. Cyborg Hunter, Bomber Raid, Rampage at the bottom. That's awesome. For the Sega Master System. Ooh, the Life Force Strategy Guide. Here's something I could have used as a kid. I don't think I've ever beaten Life Force. Oh yeah, I could have used this for sure. I've never played Life Force. It is a blast, but it is difficult. You need to spend many hours mastering it to actually start making some progress. And I remember doing so with my brother a few times. I remember him getting much farther than me. It was great. Adventures in Miracle World Part 1. And a strategy guide to Alex Kidd in Miracle World. That's a game I have not played, so I honestly have no interest in the strategy guide. Probably very useful if this is a game you were into. Rambo. By Acclaim. I have played Rambo. I love the movies. I'll say that. Wrestlemania, another great game. Here's that strategy guide, I think. What do we got here? This. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, this looks like Xenophobe. So we got one of those dual page ads. This is Xenophobe by Sunsoft, also showing a few of their other games at the bottom, like Platoon's one I have. Xenophobe is one of those games that was a lot of fun, but from what I could remember, it like never ends. I don't think it ever ends. I think you just keep playing and playing and playing to get a high score, because it's just this never-ending maze of levels. I'm pretty sure there's no ending to this game. At least from what I've been able to tell, or from my experience. Sailing on Silicone Wings. What do we got here? Okay, a comprehensive survey of flight sims. Okay. Let's kind of just browse and see what we can see here. Really early primitive flight sim up there, but one of the first 3D ones, I bet. F-19 Stealth Fighter. Ooh, I've never played that. By Microprose. I might have to check that out. Something about early flight sims that are just still so appealing to me for some reason. Like, I seen these screenshots and I just think, well, I want to check out what that game is. I got to figure out what that game is. They're just awesome. Introducing Sammy's Mega Chip game, Amagon. Never heard of it. Got the Nintendo seal down there. More Flight Sim. A cataclysmic struggle between good and evil. War in Middle Earth. J.R.R. Tolkien's. Oh, look at this. This is an early Lord of the Rings style game. Not into that stuff. Probably wouldn't be into this game. Cool to see, though. More Flight Sim here. Awesome early Flight Sim shots. These are great. I love how, this is 89, so a lot of like the advertising is all these arcade classics coming home, get this on your, because NES was like on the top right here at this period, and you can finally have the arcade experience in your home for real, and man, they're really just playing that card in most of these ads. A little bit more Flight Sims here. There's the early Jet Fighter I see. TrackCon, air traffic control sim. That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. To me, probably really boring to some. A game or a reflection of deadly reality. A conversation with Sid Meier. Sid Meier. I butcher names on this, I'm sorry. More of those cheap looking joysticks by Bishu. Whew. The Super Stick looks cool though, in the middle there. A little bit more Flight Sim here. I got Hellcat Ace I see. Pirates down there. Pirates. Times of Lore. There's one I've not played. More Flight Sim. Carrier Command. Encounter high-speed action in an intelligent game of tactical warfare. Sounds awesome. Article on designing. An organizer, protect Nintendo game packs. Only $6 by Curtis. That's pretty cool. I bet that's something where, like, probably worth more than $6 today. People love that old NES game organizing stuff, I find. I saw a Nintendo 64 cartridge holding thing that was worth the guy was selling it for like $30, and I literally considered it because you're just not going to find that anymore. And it held like not that many carts, but still, it was awesome. I thought this would be the one where I hold my favorite, most nostalgic carts in. But I didn't buy it. I should have. Article on Game Doctor? Question. Oh, Q&A. So it's like a Q&A section. Let's just... You don't read Rip. What's wrong with you? Rip. Ozzy, 20 years later. Look how young he is. It's crazy. 1 year, 12 issues, only $18.95. So this is like a rock magazine. At the peak of hair metal. Not a terrible price, I guess. Never heard of Rip, though. More Q&A. Official Advanced Dungeons & Dragons computer product, Heroes of Lance, by Strategic Simulations Incorporated. Not my thing, but I like the art. It's awesome. Look at the guy's sword. It is gigantic. What do we got here? Well, something on Spyhunter, Double Dragon at the bottom. Sega Master System owners article there. Oh, Snail Maze. Apparently that was built in, it looks like. That's cool. Falcon. Played Falcon, a few of them. Great. At this point, it was available for Amiga and Atari. That's a great ad, too. Just love it. Jockeying the Tetris Jigsaw. Strategy article. Looks like it's on Tetris. Win free software. So a little input on how to make their mag better. That's cool. More strategy. I think that if you fill out whatever they were asking there, that's how you can win your free game. That was the page that was talking about that on the cover. Win a free game on page 83. Buy some Nintendo cards here. Computer game review section. Ocean Ranger. No Bunga's Ambition. No idea what either of these are. Buy more crap. Just software prices and stuff here. Same day shipping. This is by Right Computer. They accept Visa or MasterCard. Fast break. Quarterback Club. I'm pretty sure that's a young John Elway. Yeah, it is. His helmet says it all. Man, a very young John Elway. Double Dragon listed there too. Global Commander by Datasoft. Oh, I have seen these available at a few video game stores. One back home in the Midwest was selling one of these, but it was way too much. They wanted $25 for it, but I really considered it just because these are awesome. I still see them here and there. I think I've seen one at their store in just destroyed condition, and I didn't get it, but something I would definitely pick up. Be a great thing to have. Even today. Captain Blood by Mindscape. That's one I've not heard of. All right, so 12 all-color issues. I love how it's all like these magazines are in color. 12 all-color issues for only $19.95. We've seen worse in subscription terms for prices. That's not terrible, even with inflation. Swords and Sorcery. We'll talk of that here. Become an Atarian. With your $15 membership, you get a t-shirt, a sew-on patch, a laminated ID card, 6 issues of the official Atarian magazine, plus discounts on games, contests, prizes, and fun, all for $25. Well, that would be a $25 value for $15. I'd have become an Atarian if I had one. My parents gave me $15. I mean, this is kind of... Atari wasn't doing so good at this point. Even, they struggled ever since the early 80s and beyond, with all of their consoles. So maybe I wouldn't have become an Atarian, probably because I would have had a Nintendo. I don't know. In '89, I was 4 years old, so I didn't have any game console yet. I didn't get an NES till I was like 7, 8, early 90s. Hole-in-one miniature golf. I got a Nintendo, sorry, because my dad picked one up from a friend who had upgraded to the Super for their kids. So we got like their whole Nintendo pack, like the whole package of stuff, which I don't know what he paid, probably not a ton, but I remember him coming home with a box of Nintendo, and it was the greatest thing ever. And this again was like the early 90s, so maybe like 90, whenever the Super dropped, around that time, maybe a little after. Hole-in-one miniature golf by Digitech. That actually looks pretty awesome. You get 72 holes in 4 courses. And it's a computer game. Nintendo gamers. Okay, we got Pac-Man Tetris Rbi. Great game. And Gauntlet there. The only one I own is Rbi. I might own Tetris. Oh, yeah, I might. Not the Tengen versions, though, I guess. This is Tengen. I guess they got some loophole. Like the black carts, the Tengen carts, if you remember, like in your collection, you probably had them too, where all of a sudden out of nowhere you had this weird looking black cart. Like they were basically making their own Nintendo games and selling them. It's a pretty interesting story, Tengen, and how they were able to pull that off. The Rampage ad here by Data East. Fun game. Classic. And that actually wraps it up for this magazine. So it's pretty awesome. I've not ever seen one of these issues of this magazine, so it's pretty cool to have gotten the chance to check one of these out. So let me know what you think of these magazines. There's a lot of ads, I'll say that, and not all of them are that fun like some of the magazines we've looked at are. Granted, however, this is earlier than that crazy video game advertising that started to come out in the 90s. So this was still really straightforward advertising where it's just, the carts and bundled by, let's show now a page of Tengen cards, let's show a page of, Sunsoft, and much more straightforward advertising in the late 80s, as you can see, compared to what you start seeing in the 90s when it just kind of goes pretty crazy in terms of just the artwork and, some of the stuff we've seen in some of the previous retro reads in those 90s issues. It's like the early 90s to the mid 90s, the advertising is just batshit crazy. And this is really straightforward and simple to look at, maybe a little boring, but fun to check out nonetheless. A lot more advertising than I would want to pay for this magazine, but then granted, this magazine is pretty cheap, so even the cover price issue is a few bucks, so you can't really beat that. I would have loved a subscription to it as a kid, so probably check out more of these as well. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you ever had a subscription to this magazine. That would be great to hear about in the comments. Feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Also, check me out on Twitter at RealRDR is my tag, so go ahead and feel free to shoot me a line there as well if you like. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.